everyone, Stormcrow here. I wanted to share with you this quick little video about something I learned the other day about honey blocks in the latest snapshot for 19W41A. Let me show you what I learned. So I've never ever duplicated carpets before in Minecraft. I didn't know how they work, but honestly, I found out by accident, especially in this snapshot. So I was playing around with honey blocks. I had a sticky piston on the side of them with carpets on top. The reason why I added carpets on top was because I wanted to see if I can be stuck by the honey blocks, but walking along carpets along the top. And that's exactly what happens. I can't jump high at all, which is crazy, right? Which is awesome. That's the expected behavior because that same exact thing happens with slime blocks. Also, when you power a sticky piston, when you're on it, you get pushed with it. Pretty cool. What happened was I was doing some type of work with this particular one here. This is right before I recorded the video, this particular video. And I think I destroyed a block when it was extending out. I don't know what I did, but watch what happens now. See at the end right there? Carpet now is being duplicated. I don't know why it's not working on this one, but it works on this one, which is very odd. So I did some research, right? It doesn't have to... It's not about the chunk that it's in. It's also not about the direction of the actual device. What it has to do with the X and Z value, or the X and Z coordinates of where you place it. So for instance, this right here is in the negative X and the negative Z coordinate. You can see that every time it comes back, it duplicates a carpet. Same thing with this one. This one is in a positive X and a negative Z. You can see it also duplicates all four. So I wanted to play around with this idea, right? And so I was trying to see if I can get it as small as possible. And I came up with this right here. Now, this kind of idea has been around for a little bit. I don't know if this is the smallest one that I've seen, but it works fairly well. However, you notice that the carpets get stuck on the top. It's because there's no place for them to go if they fall on top. Yes, they can go into the hoppers you see below here, and I only collected 6 in that short amount of time. The other downside with this is that there's a redstone block here, and it can sometimes lock this hopper, as you see here. It's not going anywhere. So that wasn't a really good design here. So I tried it again, but this time I moved the redstone block to the side, just to stop the hoppers from locking. But the same problem still happens. Of course, the carpets are getting stuck on top. So I took a look at this right here, and one thing I noticed is that a regular block is full height, but a honey block is actually a pixel or so less than a full block. Let me show you what happens when I stand on this block. You can see that my Y value that I'm standing on is 56.93750, and a full block is 57. So that tells me that since this is not a full block, kind of like a path block or a farm block itself, I can do some really cool things with hopper minecarts. So I pushed a honey block down into a hopper minecart, and this is what I have here. So the idea of this is that the hopper minecart is stuck between 2 honey blocks. As soon as the carpet breaks, the hopper minecart picks it up, and the hopper minecart then will pass that down into the hopper below because it's not a full block, and the hopper below will then go into the chest here. Watch what happens now. As you can see, the carpet is getting picked up immediately. I don't see any carpet on the ground, which is awesome, right? I can improve this a little bit more. Where the glazed terracotta is, right, there could be a possibility that it was locking this hopper. So I decided that I wanted to move the redstone block up to the side like I showed you over in this example here. And that's what I did just here. I also added another hopper here in its place of the glazed terracotta because every time that the sticky piston goes back and forth, the hopper minecart has an opportunity to go over this hopper or this hopper back and forth, and it will offload every time it goes over the hopper. In fact, I could even added this hopper line into the chest right here if I wanted to. I didn't think that was a big deal, but the same thing happens here. It works. Perfect, right? So I want to see how far I can push this and how many carpets I can duplicate at once. So I could get 3 at its max because of the limit of the pushing of sticky pistons. There's an 8 block limit to push with sticky pistons, and that's what I did just here. One thing I noticed with this setup is no matter how long you have this on for, let's say that you were expecting to get 30 white carpets, then you should also get 30 blue and 30 black. However, the first and second placement here will always be 30 if that's the case, but the last color is always going to be double what the first or the second one is. I think what happens is the black goes back and forth, and every time it goes back, it duplicates. Every time it goes forward, it duplicates, unlike the first two options here. I did reconfigure this around a little bit so I can get at least the second one to do the same behavior as the third, but the first one I could never get it to duplicate going back and going forwards. You can see here, yep, so I have 18 white, 18 blue, and then of course the black is double the value of the first or the second one. So I wanted to play around with this for a little bit, and I was thinking, well, what if I could get rails on top of these honey blocks? Bad news is you cannot. See, you can get them on other blocks, but you can't put them on honey blocks. So this is not a good idea if you wanted to try to duplicate rails. So let's look at this right here. So I have a rail on top of this one. What if I could do the same exact thing I did before, right, with slime blocks? So if I power this one, watch what happens. Yeah, the hopper minecart it doesn't get held in place by the slime blocks because the slime blocks are not sticky like the honey blocks. I was also thinking, what if I got rid of this one at the bottom here, because what if I could just do this whole thing as small as possible? Notice that it needs the bottom block because it will just fall right through. Same thing over here. I thought, well, what if I could remove the bottom block here? Or what if I could actually instead turn it on with the bottom block? What if the bottom block was causing it to hold into place? Nope, as you just noticed, it just fell right out. You also need to have the bottom block in place, and from my testing, you need to have 2 honey blocks. The top honey block is what holds the hopper minecart in place, and the bottom honey block will also allow it to not get pushed off. Watch what happens if I change around the blocks and do a slime block at the bottom and a honey block at the top. It does some weird behavior, and I don't trust it at all. From all my tests, you need to have 2 honey blocks for this to work. Lastly, I did try this. What if I could push a rail on top of the honey block? Watch what happens to the rail. It actually destroys the rail, so that's not going to work either. I think that's a bug. So I came up with this configuration here using slime blocks and honey blocks. I didn't put the hopper minecart in here just for this example, but you could, but it will only collect the blue carpet in this example. And here we go. As you can see, it's a mess, but it worked. I could successfully duplicate powered rails, the blue carpets, and the plain rails all at the same time. And that's what I wanted to show all of you, that you can use hopper minecarts and honey blocks to be able to do some really, really cool things now, at least with 1.15 when it comes out. Anyway, this has been Stormcrow. Have a great day, everyone. See ya.